Fun fact: in the Czech Republic there is not any legislation concerning knives in existence. In the UK, the main knife legislation is found in the Criminal Justice Act of 1988. The CJA was loosely written and does not mention any restrictions on locking folders. However, in the case of R v. Deegan, it was ruled that folding was intended to mean non-locking.
How's it going, everyone? I have another knife review for you, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the outstanding Spyderco UKPK. This has been a knife that I've wanted to add to my collection for some time now. I just haven't really jumped on it, but after hearing that this knife has been discontinued from Spyderco's product line for 2011, I wanted to get my hands on a couple of these. The foliage green one down here is actually a gift from my girlfriend for Christmas, and because I like this one so much, I went to Tim over at TacticalDefender.com and picked up the orange G10 version. Both of these knives are outstanding, and if you guys are in the market for it, definitely go check out the site and pick one up. In this video I want to talk about the knife, the specifications, and also talk about some of the laws and restrictions that really made this knife come about and the reasons that it was designed. So first off, let me give you guys some specifications on this knife. First off, the blade length comes in at 2 15/16 inches long, so it's just under 3 inches. The closed or handle length is 4 1/16 inches long. Blade steel that Spyderco is using is a CPM S30V, outstanding steel. Alright, the handle material is a G10, very nicely textured. Weight comes in at 2.4 ounces, so it's a fairly light knife. Isn't much to it, just 2 G10 slabs, blade, backspacer, and pocket clip. Alright, and the overall knife was designed for the UK market. Alright, so I really got this knife. I just want something a little bit different. I live in the United States, so I don't need a non-locking folder. I'm able to carry pretty much whatever I want, with the exception of automatics. Unfortunately, my state doesn't allow that. But it's still a very interesting knife, something I've always kind of appreciated. You don't need a locking folder every single day for all your tasks. You know, for the most part, I use a knife for simple things: opening boxes, opening letters, just opening packages throughout the house, you know, food and stuff like that. So I don't need a really heavy-duty knife. And because of that, this UKPK works perfectly. Sometimes I do prefer a locking knife, but it's not always needed. The Spyderco UKPK basically is the design of the Cali 3. If you look at the Cali 3 and put them side by side, they're essentially the same knife. The only difference is the Cali 3 is a locking version, basically has a lock bar on the back here, whereas the UKPK uses a slip joint mechanism. In the United Kingdom, unfortunately, the citizens are restricted to carrying a knife that's less than 3 inches in blade length, and it cannot be a locking folder. And because of that, Spyderco and Sauglasser designed this UKPK. Alright, now, first off, blade steel is outstanding. In all the 2 months I've carried these two knives off and on, I have not had to sharpen it whatsoever, as is most of my other S30V knives from Spyderco. It just holds an edge extremely well. Alright, you can see all the markings on the blade, the Spyderco logo, alright, CPM S30V on the rear of the knife. You have Sauglasser's mark and the Golden Colorado USA Earth, which I do find kind of interesting. United States made knife that's marketed mostly to overseas United Kingdom. Right? As you move farther back on the knife, you can see that G10. This is a very vibrant orange, which I absolutely love. I have a big thing for orange G10 knives. I think they look very, very appealing. As well as this foliage green G10. It's just a very nice subdued color. It goes with everything. There isn't really an article of clothing that this won't really match with. So it's a great all-around knife. Texturing on the G10 is outstanding. Spyderco does an excellent job. It's not overly aggressive, although it's not lacking in texture. So it's a very comfortable, very functional textured G10 handle. Outstanding job, Spyderco. This is put together with some Torx bits, so you can take it apart and clean it if you need to. Although I haven't had the need to do that, but it's always nice to have the option. This does have a reversible pocket clip for left or right hand carry, tip up only though, and it's using Spyderco's outstanding wire pocket clip. One of my favorite, if not the favorite, pocket clip on the market right now. It's very discreet, very minimal, and it rides extremely low. All great points of a pocket clip, and it's just, it's one of the best in my opinion. Okay, extremely easy to swap, undo that one screw there, throw it on the other side. Okay. Like I said, this is a slip joint design, so it does not lock open, which is one of the requirements to be able to carry in the United Kingdom. And it's simply a simple break of pressure. I believe it's around 20 pounds of pressure to be able to break that lock connection there with the slip joint. And it's just a simple notch that this bar back in here kind of sits in and holds the blade in the open position. Although you can see it's just very easy to break that tension and close the knife. Spyderco does have an FRN version of this UKPK that's been basically replacing this G10 version, and it doesn't have as much tension on the the lock bar back here. Alright, once you break that initial force, around 20 pounds of pressure, it does also have a half stop, so it stops at 90 degrees. It's another safety, helps prevent the knife from closing on your hand completely. You have to break that resistance again, which is significantly less, and then the knife will close completely. Alright, this really isn't a flipper knife, so you're not going to be able to fling it out too fast. And the majority of that's because of those notches in the blade. You kind of have that forward motion and it stops at that notch and prevents it from going forward, and then you have to kind of continue again before it snaps in place. Although you do have just a very nice smooth range of motion if you hold on to that Spyderco hold the entire time while you're opening a knife. Right? But it's not really meant to be a fast deploying knife, just something that the people over in the United Kingdom can carry legally on a daily basis. Another feature is just part of the design of the handle here. You have this forward choil that takes up the first portion of the blade and the first portion of the handle here. And your first index finger sits in that choil. And if the knife were to inadvertently close or accidentally close because it doesn't actually lock open, that your index finger there is to kind of there to catch it and prevents the knife from closing. It doesn't hurt your finger, it doesn't pinch or anything. It's just there, kind of shuts a little bit, finger stops it, and it's not going to close anymore. So it's nice, another safeguard, kind of almost like another safety on this knife to prevent it from hurting you or kind of injuring you while it's in use. But overall, I think the design is outstanding. The fit and finish, the quality stays up to Spyderco standards. You know, the tolerances are outstanding. Just an overall amazing knife. It's unfortunate these guys were discontinued, but I understand kind of the reason for it. The price point and the materials, not a lot of people were crazy about it. But the new FRN ones are kind of a more economic version, and I'm sure will do just as well, if not better, than these did. Now, just to give you guys a couple size comparisons, I'm going to keep this orange UKPK in the close position and just compare it to a couple different knives. Alright, first off, we have Kershaw Oh So Sweet, Benchmade Mini Griptilian, Spyderco Sage 1, Spyderco Delica, and just add something different. This is a 9/4 D11. Okay. Spyderco UKPK, Kershaw Oh So Sweet, Benchmade Mini Griptilian, Spyderco Sage 1, Spyderco Delica, and again, 9/4 D11. Alright, now for a cutting demonstration. Again, neither of these Spyderco UKPKs have been sharpened since I got them from the factory. See how they do. Just outstanding. You gotta have some sugary cereal from time to time. Alright, so my final thoughts on the Spyderco UKPK. It's another outstanding knife from Spyderco, definitely one of my favorites, and it's definitely going to stay in my EDC for some time. It's a great option if you're in a country that restricts what kind of knives you're able to carry, and if you're actually able to carry this as an EDC knife, I'd strongly recommend it. Even for the countries that do allow locking folders, it's a great option for a light EDC, extremely good materials, G10, S30V, outstanding Spyderco quality. You really can't beat it. This is now discontinued for 2011, so if you're in the market for one, I definitely suggest picking it up sooner than later. Or if you want the kind of a cheaper version, you can go with the FRN version of the UKPK that's now available. I appreciate everyone watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.